Hello everyone and welcome back to part 3 of our dialogue system using state trees. In the last episode we set up a very robust system to handle our dialogue system, and in this episode we're just going to tidy up a few things by making our character not be able to move, keep them locked into place, things like that, and also add a bit more flexibility in what we want to allow for the player to do in terms of what the game designer to do in terms of the dialogue system. So let's jump in straight away and get started with this. So last time we demonstrated that we can interact with a character, but we can still move around, which is not what we want. And the mouse obviously is not hidden either. So first things first, let's go to our dialogue component. On the dialogue component, I want to, on the start dialogue, define whether or not I should be standing still or being able to move around for the dialogue system. Because you may want to make it so you can move around. So again, in the interest of flexibility, we're going to go over to our start dialogue and we're going to add an input to this one. And we're going to do disable character input. And that's going to be a Boolean. And now this thing's getting quite long. We're going to help organize this a little bit. We're going to use a sequence just so we've got a bit more organization going on here. So these are the variables. We're going to put this up here and put that there. The widget is this part here. We're going to move this down and connect that to line 1. And then we've got the state tree actually being ran over here, and we'll put that on then 2. This binding actually for the HUD could actually make sense to be belonging to this one because that's handling all the widget stuff. And we can go a bit further and collapse some of these to functions if we want. You know, there's nothing stopping you from organizing it even further if you wanted to. You know, world's your oyster. The thing you may want to be aware of though is if you disconnect these from participant 1 here and participant 1 here, if I were to get participant 1 you're going to see these different variables coming up and they're going to be the same because one of them is the actor component wired one, one's the function wired one. So you might want to change that around a little bit. I don't know. You may want to rename these ones to be participant A and participant B to avoid any confusion. So now if I search for participant 1, I'm going to A, and then participant 2 will go into B, for example. Okay, so it just makes your life a little bit easier and avoids any confusion with the engine. But yeah, so now we've got this disabled character input. I'm going to have that handled on another pin. Let's just move this one up a bit. And we'll put that into a branch because it's a Boolean. Disable character input. So disable the character input. We're going to get the player character and do disable input. And for that, you need your player controller. So get player controller like so. Then we go to end dialogue. For end dialogue, again, we can clean this up a bit more here. We'll just do a sequence. Put that onto the variables being reset. This is HUD stuff. We'll put that onto the next one. And then finally, we'll do movement space stuff. We'll just get player character. Get player controller. And then enable input. Like this. Okay. So now I shouldn't be able to move when I'm talking to the character. So go here, talk, and I didn't turn it on. That's why. Boolean. My bad. So I tell you what, we'll make it default to be on. Makes most sense, doesn't it? So go start dialogue. I'm going to open up the disable character input, set default value to true. But if you ever wanted to override it, you can just easily do that when you take the start dialogue. Okay, so now let's go up to our character. Talk to him. I can't move. Click. And I can move. Okay. So there you go. We've now got movement locked down for the player while they're talking to them. The next one is to make it so we have an input. So rather than just clicking on a screen to advance it, maybe we want to push a button on a gamepad or on a keyboard to basically go across to the next one. So on the input over here, we're going to do we'll do another input action. We'll do it in a dialogue actually. And we'll go and create a input action dialogue advance, I don't know, and we want that to be pressed just once, so we're going to trigger, pressed, save, close, and we'll make a mapping context for this as well. So go to input, mapping context, IMC dialogue, and we can add in what mappings we want this to have. So go to mappings, pick up our dialogue advance, and we'll make this one E, for example. Okay, so interact with it again to basically advance it. Save that, close that. Now, if I go back to my dialogue base widget, the one that's empty, the one that's just got our back end stuff on it, on the construct of this, I want to get the player controller, and I want to get the enhanced input local subsystem, add mapping context, choose our IMC dialog. Then when we close this thing, so on the destruct, event destruct, I want to get the enhanced system again. This time I want to remove mapping context. And we're going to remove the IMC dialog. We probably also want to make it so we can hide the mouse, show the mouse, whatever we want as well. So I can go to class defaults over here. Actually, not class defaults. Let's just add a variable and do show mouse cursor. Make that editable. And over here on the player controller, we can do set show mouse cursor. And that is going to be based upon that. And then on the remove, we set show mouse cursor to be false. Yeah. After that, we also probably want to change the game mode to make it so that this thing can receive inputs. So I'm going to go ahead and get the player controller again. Just make it a bit tidier, and set input mode to game and UI. And then on the destruct, get player controller, set input mode to game only. Okay, so there's all that going on there. And then when I want it to advance the dialogue over here, I'm going to get rid of that button I put on there. So we're going to replace with child. Yep. And get rid of the function we made temporarily. And if I wanted to, I could put that onto the parent one if I wanted to. I can do IA dialogue advance and call the advanced dialogue. I want you to do something like that. Or there's nothing stopping you from just chucking that onto your actual one. Either one is fine. It might be better to put it on the new, your actual one you're going to be using in the game. But, you know, either way, it doesn't really matter too much. So let's now push play. Go talk to our guy. I push E, and away it goes. So let's have a look at advancing dialogue again. I'm going to go into the example for a dialogue example. I'm going to add another state to this. It's going to be 1-2. And it's going to have another task on it. It's going to have say line again. And the line here is going to welcome to the dialogue system of your dreams. Okay, but be careful because this is going to tree succeed when this is completed. I don't want to do that. I'm going to go to the first one here and just undo that task. Or set if I delete it, there you go. I want it to go from there. I then want it to go to the next one. So I'm going to go to transition on state complete, choose 1, 2. So that's going to go to 1, 2. This one is going to be tree succeed. That's in the dialogue. So let's go back. Hello there. Welcome to the dialogue system of your dreams. Away it goes. So let's think about that revisit entry point then. So if I go to my NPC over here, this entry point is set to none. But if I say, well, over here, I've really spoken to him. Okay, so maybe I want to say, have a boolean on here. Say like, has spoken to, for example. And we'll set that to true. Entry point here, I'm going to do select. As spoken to. If it's true, I'm going to leave it as none. But if it's false, I can pick my dialogue entry point repeat visit. And whatever logic you want to do to determine whether or not you should be doing a repeat visit or not, that's up to you, but that'll work. So we just need to put something on our repeat visit to say line. So add state. We do line 2-1. Make sure I attach it to there, keep it in that nice little group. And on 2-1, I'm going to go to tasks, say line, and go welcome back. And then transition here, we're going to on state completed, tree succeeded. So there's our 2 trees. So if all's worked correctly, we should see it improve and show the repeated visit. So there's that first visit. Sorry, it's going. Okay, it's gone the wrong way. So, so when I talked to him first time around, you notice it went to the welcome back first, and not the other one. The other one happened first after that. So I've got something around the wrong way. Entry point. If yeah, I've got the wrong way around here. Oops, that'd be bad. Dialogue entry point. Repeat visit. There we go. Been a long day. So now when I talk to him, you get hello there. Welcome to the dialogue system of your dreams. I can walk away. Then come back to him. Welcome back. Okay. Neat. So hopefully now, even more so, you can see that flexibility coming into play with repeated visits or any sort of entry tag you like. You could make it so the player has achieved a certain progression route. Maybe they've defeated the boss or repaired a building or whatever, and change the context of what that situation is going to be. So a lot more flexible for creating your dialogue. In the next part, though, we're going to do something that is part of more modern dialogue system, which is a choice system, giving the player choices to respond to and having the dialogue change direction based upon that choice. So we're going to tackle that in the next episode, which you can find on Patreon from just $1 a month. If you want support with your own projects, consider becoming a Diamond Patron. Diamond Patrons get 1 session per month with myself, where I can help you out with your projects, help you fix any bugs, help you with the system, or just teach you Unreal. Anything you like is all fair game in those sessions. So thank you so much everyone who is supporting the channel already over Patreon. If you're not supporting us on Patreon, or if you do hit the subscribe button, that would mean the world enough for me as well. So make sure you hit that subscribe button, hit the little notify bell to be notified for part 4, and I'll see you all in the next part. Bye for now.